Hello and welcome to Moving Pictures Kenya. My name is Bonventure and this is Journey Through America. Today we are at a place called Shanksville in Pennsylvania. You remember on September 11th, the year 2001, some 19 terrorists hijacked some planes here in the USA. Two of the planes went to hit the World Trade Center in New York. Another one went to hit the Pentagon. And then another one crashed on a field here in Pennsylvania. That field is at a place called Shanksville, and that is where we are now. We are just trying to understand what happened on this particular day. This plane took off from Newark in New Jersey at 8:42. Then it was headed to San Francisco. So on its way at around 9:28 a.m., this was the probable time of the terrorist takeover. And then it got somewhere and turned. And then at 9:57 a.m., passengers and crew begin to struggle for control of the plane. And then at around 10:03 a.m., it crashed at a speed of 563 miles per hour. And by the time of the crash, it was less than 20 minutes flying time to the US Capitol.
Remember that? It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
I still remember exactly the day it happened. It was much like today, very beautiful. I was working and I remember a coworker had a small TV, and unlike the cell phones that we have today, you know, this just grainy little image, and he's like, hey, look, an airplane just hit one of the trade towers. And at that moment, everything becomes surreal. So, like, you know, everybody was either going home or calling their family or anything like that. So I've been up here several times, but it's definitely, each time, it's the same emotions, you know, so.
Yeah, what is actually touching on the stories where the passengers voted. They voted to storm the cockpit.
Oh yeah, that's very touching there. I know when she was listening to them, you know, it's to listen to those people and their final words, you know, the emotions are pretty deep, so, yeah.
Maybe he can also say something. Can give him
You want
the
to say
mic.
something, Joe?
Joe Green, I'm a co-worker of Jeff's. That day I was, I'm military, so I mean that, you know, somber moment. You know, visited this memorial for the first time. You know, very touching.
On the morning of September 11, 2001, Al-Qaeda terrorists hijacked 4 commercial flights that departed from East Coast airports. 2 hijacked aircraft were deliberately crashed into the World Trade Center's Twin Towers in New York City, and a 3rd into the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia. The 4th aircraft, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed into a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, killing all on board. Nearly 3,000 people died in the 4 aircraft strikes, making September 11th the deadliest terrorist attack on American soil. Alerted to the attack at the World Trade Center and the Pentagon, the 40 unarmed passengers and crew members took quick and decisive action. The effort to regain control of the aircraft ended after a struggle for the cockpit. This revolt prevented Flight 93 from reaching Al-Qaeda's intended target. Evidence later revealed that the most likely target was the US Capitol, where both houses of Congress were in session. Flight 93 crashed less than 20 minutes flying time to Washington, D.C. Investigators excavated the impact site of Flight 93. By September 14, 2001, both black boxes were recovered from the crater above. No aircraft debris were recovered beyond a depth of 35 feet. First responders quickly determined that there were no survivors of the Flight 93 crash. The Pennsylvania State Police secured the crash site as a federal crime scene. The September 11th attack led to the largest investigation in FBI history. Hundreds of investigators combed the crash site collecting evidence. Agents verified the identity of the terrorists as members of Al-Qaeda. When you look at my extreme right, we are going to visit that place. It is called the Tower of Voices. Tower of Voices unaiona vizuri. So I want to visit the Tower of Voices. A Tower of Voices is a special monument that has been constructed, and it has some 40 chimes that represent the 40 souls that were on board the plane. These are the crew members and the passengers that were on the plane. So what is written here is that the Tower of Voices is a monumental 93-foot tall music instrument.
We're gonna have to do that because it ain't gonna be enough today. Sorry.
It's okay. Not a problem. So I'm not sure that this sound is coming from there because we are listening to it online. But we've scanned the code. So let us now go to the actual Tower of Voices.
Do it, make it work. Come on, Mom.
I think you've been summoned.
I heard you have a talent.
Now, after visiting the Tower of Voices, let us now go to the Visitors Center.
Oh, yeah. This. So this. Do you see that? Oh, right here. This is the crash site. Where are we now? Oh, yeah, yeah. We're up there. So it's way down there.
This walkway takes us to the trail of what happened on that particular day. So like here, what are they saying? They're saying at 8:46 a.m.
No. No, we didn't know you couldn't take him in the building, so she went in, and then I'll go in.
Oh, I don't want to get into it.
At the Visitors Center, photography or recording video is not allowed. So you're just allowed to go in and be able to view what is happening in there. And what I can tell you is, while we were there, we were able to listen to those voices of the passengers as they were making desperate calls to their loved ones and as they were planning to enter the cockpit so that they could engage the terrorists. It's quite an emotional experience. That is the visitor center. That is where we were just now. Then now we have come here at the memorial center. This field covers about 2,000 acres of land. It has the Tower of Voices that we saw up there. Then it has the visitors center, and then it has the memorial park, about 2,000 acres of land. Flight 93 Memorial is a place of renewal. It embraces the natural environment, both stark and serene. Land scarred by decades of coal mining is being restored. Native trees are once again part of the landscape, and flowing meadows soften remnants of the area's harsh industrial past. Wetlands filter the water and create a habitat teeming with life. With time, the landscape will be transformed by nature, just as this place was changed by the events of September 11th, 2001. Originally, this place was used for coal mining, but now it's being restored to its natural habitat. The Memorial Plaza is the culminating feature of the memorial. It marks the edge of the crash site, which is the final resting place of the passengers and crew of Flight 93. So this is the Trail of Remembrance. This half-mile trail follows the route of Skyline Road, a quiet country thoroughfare for local residents prior to September 11, 2001. In the decade after the crash of the flight, more than 1 million visitors traveled this hillside to reach a simple but powerful temporary memorial overlooking the crash site. This path leads to the place where the community and the nation came together to honor the passengers and crew members of Flight 93. So this one reads, in the attacks of September 11, 2001, terrorists target prominent symbols of the United States to create fear and a feeling of vulnerability in the American people. News of the attacks is met with disbelief, sorrow, and anger, followed quickly by a renewed sense of unity and patriotism that sweeps across the country. American servicemen and women deployed to Afghanistan and throughout the Middle East, and along with intelligence personnel, hunt the terrorists of Al-Qaeda. Though Osama bin Laden, the founder of Al-Qaeda, is killed in 2011, the fight against the terrorists continues. In towns throughout the country, daily routines return, but indelible memories of that day and those lost remain. So these are the images of the crew and passengers of Flight 93. We have Christian Adams, Lorraine Bay, Todd Beamer, Alan Anthony Bevan, Mark Bingham. So this is an image of the interior of Flight 93. They're saying here interior view looking forward to the cockpit of a Boeing 757. Earphones on the backs of the middle seats allowed passengers and crew members to make phone calls during the hijacking. After seizing control of Flight 93, the hijackers forced the crew and passengers to the back of the plane and ordered them to be quiet. One terrorist claimed to have a bomb strapped to his waist. This photo was taken by a local resident 1.5 miles away. That was moments after Flight 93 crashed. The burns in this photo are not visible from the Memorial Plaza.
There was just a pilot that tried to crash a plane.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that? It was like 6 months ago. A pilot tried to crash his own plane. Wow.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
You too.
Costume party down there, and I went dressed up like a hooker. And Linda's telling me, all these guys want to dance with me, all these guys want to... I said, there ain't no fucking way. I said, I can hardly walk in these things. She goes, women take their shoes off to dance anyhow, Alan. Go out and do it. No, I'm just kind of like, they're going to look like that. You know? I don't know, but I got to tell you, if it's a hole, I'm not going to be real impressed because I've seen the world.
I don't know whether you can see that rock down there. That rock represents the actual crash site of Flight 93. So I'm told that that area is solemn, so nobody's allowed to go there other than the family members. So we can only come up to this point. But that is a solemn ground, and I'm told that after the crash, only about 8% of the human remains were recovered. So this place is scattered with human remains and the debris of the aircraft. That is the visitor center where we were previously. It has been designed to fit with the aircraft flight path. So the aircraft came from there and it crashed down there where you can see that rock. The aircraft was flying at more than 500 miles per hour. That is a very high speed, and I'm told by the time it crashed, it had turned upside down. So the impact of the aircraft was so huge, they recovered very little debris. So that particular area is a sacred ground because it's full of human remains and debris from the aircraft. Now we need to go to the wall of names, where the names of the victims are written. So you can go like this, Franco.
Okay, we don't know.
Well, at some point, somebody had to say,
There's no question. But C.C. Lyles was another flight attendant. She was talking to her husband at 9:56. Okay, and he was a police officer. She's a former police officer, and she said, "I gotta go. We're getting into the cockpit right now." Bye.
Oh wow.
So that's what I mean. It wasn't one person. It was a group that said, and it's clear. It's people who were said, "I'm going to do this, or do this, or do that." So they. It wasn't just I'm going to do whatever I want. There was people that are saying, "Here's, and in that period of time, heck, we can't even make decisions where we want to go for dinner.
No,
Do you know what I mean? And they did it. Less than 30 minutes. The plane was taken over at 9:28. 9:57 is when they tried to attack the cockpit. Yeah. So the character of the people, and the thing is we all know. And if it was me, you'd have uncontrollable fear that you're being hijacked, number one. But when they found out what happened, there's no question in anybody's mind that the anger overcame the fear and said, we're not going to do it. Because one of the other things that we heard right before the crash and everything going in the cockpit was somebody yelled into the cockpit. So they wanted to get in the cockpit.
Thank you so much. It was so informative.
I assume the cockpit was locked.
Yeah, but not like it is now. Okay, the cockpit at that point could only withstand up to about 150 pounds of pressure because they did that intentionally. So if there was a problem, you know, a health problem or something like that for the pilot, that they could actually break in there. So it didn't take a lot. Now you see them all over the floor and everything like that. But the reality is, what we don't know is there's different trains of thought of how terrorists get there. You know, there's one train of thought that they threaten one of the flight crew members, you know, and when they look for the people, is it open or were they killed them?
Right.
Because, once again, the prevailing thought
Do what the hijackers want,
and
yeah.
land the plane, we'll give them our hands.
Right. And that's what they did. Right.
But passengers knew that. Initially, it was. And I'm sure the flight attendants had to lean back and say, "Oh my God, sit down." That's exactly what they did. But when they started talking to people, they didn't take them on.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for your.
Yeah.
This is an entry to the solemn grounds where the remains of the victims of the flight are lying. These trees, these trunks were taken from the trees around the area, the crash site. And then if you check, it has some special marks to represent the victims. This is not just any other wall. It is specially designed and it has names of the passengers who died when the plane came down crashing down there where we have that rock. There is Deborah Jacobs, there is Elizabeth Wainio, there is John Taliganan, there is Christine Snyder, there is Mark David Rothenberg, Jean Hodley Peterson, Donald Arthur Peterson, Louis Naik II, Nicole Carol Miller, Valeska Martinez, Hilda Massin, Cissy Rose Lyles. She was the flight attendant. Then there is Toshia Kuge. This one was Japanese. And then there is First Officer Leroy Homer. Then there is another flight attendant here, Wanda Anita Green. And then this one is more sad. It's Lauren Katuzi, Grant Colas, and unborn child. Thank you for watching this edition of Journey Through America. Today we were exploring the Flight 93 Memorial Park here in Shanksville in Pennsylvania. My name is Bonventure and this is Moving Pictures Kenya, connecting people, inspiring Africa.